So the heart of the cards.
Yo, man, I'm telling you, buying a dual disc exclusively for meme purposes pays for itself.
Sorry. Oh my gosh.
Oh, gloriously enough, apparently that's the first line of the of the show as we came online. Gotta love it.
It's perfect. Oh, it's perfect. Da, 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 da.
Right on, right on. Alrighty, welcome everybody. It is State of the Nerd Unit. Today is April 19th, and I'm here with my main man, Kenny. How you doing, Kenny?
Pretty good. Back home. Excited to be back home.
Yes. You got the usual backdrop. You fixed the green screen. You got all your games back there. All your games back there.
Yeah, they've not just miraculously disappeared. I'm back in the actual studio.
Yep.
How about yourself?
Feels good to be home, I'm sure.
Yeah, it does feel good.
I'm doing pretty all right. How am I doing? How am I doing? Been playing a bunch of Binding of Isaac. Finally beat the first new boss. Unlocked the second of what I believe are two new characters. And it's really hard. It's I'm not sure if it's the hardest characters that exist in the game. But I would say from a technical perspective, it is. It's definitely more on the challenging side. Basically with this new character, I'm sure it's not a spoiler because everybody who gives a damn probably already has been watching people stream and they already know. But you play as two entities at the same time, and if either one of them dies, you lose. But they can both shoot and they can both attack or whatever. You can control them both at the same time and they can move independently. But if one of them dies, then you lose. And nothing is shared between them. So they have their own health pools. Bombs and keys are shared in money, of course, but like they have their own health pools and their own items and all the other stuff. So it'll be interesting trying to figure out how to make these characters mesh well together. Hey, what's up, Lindy Fitness? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Welcome, my friend.
Yeah, the homies are in the house.
Yep. Squads rolling in.
All right, so no sacrificial
but
Yoshis going on.
Not quite yet. But yeah, it's been good. How's the rest of my general existence been? I'm approaching my maximum power, or max vax, as I also call it. I think when is my date? The 24th is when I will be achieving maximum power. So it'll be soon when I can tentatively venture outside like a squirrel emerging from the winter. Oh man. But yeah, otherwise doing pretty good.
Pretty sweet. Hey Tom, thanks for liking the stream. Good to see you, my buddy and co-host on Wednesday nights. So also definitely be glad to be back doing movies in this in this setup. I did get time to write though, so all that stuff I've been promising actually got written. So now we just gotta shoot some of the still videos. So it's exciting.
Hey, there you go.
Well, I guess we can kick off with, we got some quick bits. I guess technically you could say that other things are going to be quick bits, but I'm trying some segments out. I don't have text up for them yet, so that will be one thing. But hey, we got you photos and videos this time, so it's progressing, folks. Yeah. But this will be a segment called Quick Bits. It is just a quick rundown of some news topics, and then other things will be broken into other segments. If you like the segment titles, or you're like, wah, come up with something else, let us know, because we'll take your feedback and make some adjustments there. Some of them right now are just like tech news. So if you have a better idea for something fun, I am open to puns sparingly, just so long as every segment is not puns. But if one pun is there, one pun for fun, I'll be fine. I'll be down for that.
Let's go with Kenneth's Tech Tips. No, I'm kidding.
So we get a phone call from
Terrence
Linus.
Tech Tips. I feel like Terrence Tech Tips fits. Terrence Tech Tips flows a little better than Linus Tech Tips. I mean, maybe if Linus changed his name to Tyanus or something, then it would roll off the tongue a little bit better. But
you got a great point there. Lenny Fitness said, check the tech. Oh, that's not bad.
Hey, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
He also said that your other one was tech news. It's whack.
No, that's legit. That's fair. I'm not even mad.
It's a fair assessment.
It's a fair assessment from indeed. All right, so we have some more Zack Snyder news. I know you might be Zack Snydered out, but he gave a kind of non-committal answer when asked to talk about Restore to Snyderverse. So Restore to Snyderverse has been the conversation recently about getting his vision of the DCEU to come back and him do like a Justice League to see Ben Affleck's Batman happen and things like that. So Snyder basically was non-committal, saying that he doesn't expect anything to happen, but said he would love to come back if such an opportunity presented itself. And why he's like, I don't expect it to happen. I also didn't expect to be able to shoot my own version or put together my own version of the film. So I don't want to just necessarily cast that out per se. Which, I mean, he's not wrong. I know Warner Brothers has been vehemently saying they're not going to do it. But to me, they opened up the door whenever they opened the box
to the Snyderverse. I will say I've heard who was it? That dude on YouTube who does the film theory, dude, who has a theory of how the Snyderverse and the What's a Face verse storylines coexist without having to say that one squashes the other. And basically the answer is Flashpoint. The original ones that we got were the bad ending. The new one we got is the good ending. There you go. I
feel like the other thing, gosh, I hate to stomp for Snyder fans, but there is
at least
you go,
Matt Pat. Thank you, Lindy Fitness, Matt Pat.
Oh, Matt Pat. It's just a theory, a film theory.
You better stop before we get sued.
Yes, we'll stop. We're tempting fate today.
Yep. It's like, this man said the words Linus Tech Tips on his show. Cancel him.
No, I was gonna say, but HBO Max needs content. Because once you get past this year, the movies that are on there are gonna get back to more of a theater release schedule, and. The DC Universe shows that are on there. You got Harley Quinn. You were just talking to me offline about Titans being trash. I haven't even started it. I couldn't get into it. They started the big bad too early. Doom Patrol's great. Doom Patrol's fantastic. But they don't have control of the CW shows. Like, it is Warner Brothers has control of the CW shows, but they can't pull the CW shows and put it on their own HBOs. So like,
yeah.
If you want DC content, letting Snyder just do, like, if you're not going to do theatrical release, sure. But Snyder getting to do Justice League 2 on HBO Max.
They're straight up grasping for stuff on HBO. Like, I tilted off of the face of the earth when I signed into my DC Universe subscription, and they took every animated film off of the DC Universe subscription, and it's only comics now. And that they just moved it all to HBO. And I'm like, why? I bought this specifically to watch these movies, and now I got to switch to something else. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't have to pay for it from AT&T, I don't know if I would have purchased it separately. And it's kind of the same thing for, like, CBS. The only thing I'm watching there is Star Trek. Like, just nothing else. That's it. And they know that. They must know that. Or it's Paramount now, but they're trying to reboot a bunch of other stuff and get, like... I don't know. Let's not get into a streaming conversation because we'll be here for a bit.
This is supposed to be a quick thing.
quick
I know. We go off the deep end.
Street smarts. Quick hit.
Ooh, hit us with the next one. This one's all you. This one sounded fun / funny. Well,
so for kids out there, or particularly for the parents, if you the Independent said longest quick bit of all time. No, we probably have had a longer quick bit.
Oh yeah, you, me, and Jerry have definitely gone off.
It's probably a Crazy Taxi clone that happened.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So if you're a parent and your child, now to be fair, the bug I'm about to talk about, your child would not be able to accidentally stumble upon it. But well, unless that child knows how to run a VPN and was trying to plug in their plug the direction towards Turkey. So the creators of Jungle Runner were using this game effectively as a front. Jungle Runner would work as a typical kids game on the Apple App Store. So if your kid downloaded it, played the puzzle game that was on it, you'd be none the wiser. Point your phone to another country, however, specifically Turkey, and you would be brought into a gambling site of sorts to be able to place bets and hidden under the VPN inside this app. And yeah, it's apparently this is not the first time that the company has done this. Actually, let me pull it. Let me get the right. Apparently, the first one was called Magical Forest Puzzle, which was also a front for gambling. And it also came with kind of like a spin wheel, almost like Wheel of Fortune style, putting your money. Oh, sorry, not Wheel of Fortune style, but like craps. Effectively, it was like a crap style kind of gambling system inside of it.
That game is I don't know why you would ever play that game. Honestly, like, if I go to a casino, there's only like 2 games I'm playing. It's a slot machine because I have self-impulse problems, and blackjack.
Yeah.
Because it's easy.
Yeah, so this information comes from Daring Fireball. They had released, they talked about it, or sorry, no, Ellen Faroux. I think that's the name of their, it's kind of, I'm probably butchering that last name. I apologize, Costa. But yeah, it was posted on Gizmodo and Daring Fireball, 2 sites when they did the previous post, and he's been digging and found Jungle Runner 2K21. It's already been pulled from the App Store, so you couldn't download it and redo it. Also, apparently, Italy was also another country you could point the game to and also access this gambling. So I wouldn't be surprised if the company doesn't get banned from being able to upload onto the App Store from the future. And again, if folks are wondering why did Apple not catch this, this would be a legitimate thing that this would be easy to miss. Again, it'd be you'd have to know that you'd have to know the thing exists and know to point the app to the correct country in order for this to activate, right? So that wouldn't be a normal thing you'd probably test for an app in your store.
Definitely not. Like, within the realm of like regular testing, you're like, are there any obvious bugs? Does it meet like the legal criteria of what's considered like a children's game or whatever? Does it turn on when you push the button to start the app? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, moving. Let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna fix your face real quick.
There you go. I scooched over. It's all good.
There we go. All right, folks. I promised we have a lot of trailers to get to. I said a lot of zombies, but then Marvel had to go and drop down a whole new movie trailer for us. On Simming Yu's birthday, they decided to drop a little teaser for Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. And we'll go ahead and be playing that in the background. Over there. Dang, it's still wrong direction. Boom.
Wait, it's backwards. It's backwards. There you go.
See, I gotta always get and actually make sure the volume is proper.
Pump up the volume.
They're probably like, we can't hear a thing y'all are saying. So when I first watched it, I was getting a little bit of I know he's not sowing his wild oats in like a Coming to America sense, but when he said, like, you've been gone for 10 years, or I let you have your fun per se and be away, he's like, but now I want you to come back and finish what I started training you for. I got a little bit of that vibe. Getting a little bit of Elektra, like in the Hand, like her father wanted to like put the like Institution of the Hand on Elektra, specifically like Daredevil season 2, and that's just been a comic thing. Some Talia al Ghul feels as well. So it's like, but he's specifically really trying to rebel and fight against that. So I like it.
It looks interesting. Taryn said it's a little bit too low, perhaps, but it looks interesting. I don't know that much about Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings from other media, but I'm liking the the mix of quote unquote wire fu with like practical martial arts. It looks pretty solid.
Yes. I think that's what stood out the most, is that as far as the actual action on screen, we have not seen that kind of fight choreography in a Marvel movie yet. So we've seen some cool fights, but we haven't seen fight choreography like that. And I'm hoping, like, I know we got teases of some cool things, but I'm hoping we really get some awesome sequences. Kind of like I don't think it'll beat Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but hey, if you're in the ballpark, that'd be pretty sweet.
It's looking pretty fresh. I mean, I'm not seeing. So for me, like when I'm looking at fight choreography from a fight choreographer perspective, not that I'm like a professional fight choreographer, although I guess I have been paid before, so that's technically that makes me a professional. It's like, for me, the number one thing when I'm looking at cinema is I think the thing's gonna keep looping. But
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
When I'm looking at cinema is does the director know how to shoot fight scenes? And do they have actors who are capable of doing fight scenes? And 9 times out of 10, when you're watching like some sort of martial arts type thing, and you're upset because it looks bad, the answer is yes, they have actors who can do it, but no, the director doesn't know how to shoot it. Which is usually they shoot it as if they don't know how to do fight choreography, and it's like you throw a punch and you cut to another angle, and you throw another punch, you cut to another angle, or you make it so dark that you can't tell what's going on at any given moment to hide the fact via the magic of cinema that your actors don't know how to do fight choreography.
Yeah.
But then they have times where like you have actors who have like some real talent and skill, and they're like, oh well, I know this is the way you always film fight choreography stuff, and you shoot and you change, and I'm like, just take a wide angle shot, sit back, and let these people let them do their thing. And it looks like this is going to be some of the latter, because like just based off of some of the shots that we have here, I'm sure there might be a little bit of that little cutting razzmatazz,
there might be some cheats,
garbage.
The most infamous video I can tell folks to watch is go look at Taken 2, Brian climbing a fence, and you'll understand exactly. It's not even a fight choreography.
Yeah,
you'll understand what I mean by edits, because in order to get him over the fence, I think it took 8 cuts.
Oh, I thought it was 7.
Maybe it's 7. It's still bad. But if we're talking about as far as like an unbroken shot, that doesn't exist in that film. And,
yeah, it's pretty bad. And like it's when you do egregious stuff like that like even like lay people who aren't paying attention to it, they're like, why did you need to show that to me 4 times?
Yeah, you can feel it. You may not know what's going on, but you can definitely feel it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, many nerds in the Star Wars camp feel a certain kind of way about Kathleen Kennedy. I've certainly defended her and also lambasted some of her decisions with the Star Wars canon going forward since Disney acquired the rights. But Kathleen Kennedy has been a storied producer of a lot of nerd content well before Star Wars. So I've always defended her in that like. So when I heard that there was potentially a changing of the guard, I'm always trying to couch that, because these stories come out a lot, and the only thing that's really still kind of a red flag for me is that the person wouldn't name themselves. So it could still be it's like if this specifically let me pull the site that was talking about it. Mm-hmm. All right, so this was coming from Giant Freaking Robot. They generally do pretty good work over there, so this is not to cast aspersions on robot.com. But again, an unnamed source, and the Kennedy news all the time has been fans trying to say that she should be fired. So that's why I want to couch this a little bit. But things that are accurate and pulled from the source in the article, her contract is due to expire later this year. And apparently her and Favreau have a good relationship. The article is trying to say that they don't have a good relationship, but things that came up or that were reaffirmed is that they have a pretty good working relationship. And the things that we can confirm is there have been conversations at Disney about what the future Star Wars should be, right? So obviously I do think that will involve, hey, if you got a contract coming up, is that going to involve you and your creative vision going forward, or do you want to do something else? So I think those are fair things to say at this point. But anyone definitively saying that she's gone, and then the next step they say is Jon Favreau is just getting the job, I'm like, that's That's where I kind of pushed it. And I like that giant freaking robot in the article does push back against that a little bit. They're very level headed in what they wrote of saying they weren't definitively saying anything. They're just saying, kind of re-airing the facts of what they know. So kudos to you. And even if this unnamed source ends up being just a troll fan, good job on the website for not running to the races.
Running essential Star Wars fan propaganda.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to relitigate the Star Wars sequel trilogy on here, but I think things could have gone better. I think Star Wars is definitely in a better direction now, though. I think I like where Mandalorian is going. And for folks that want to throw out the sequel trilogy, it's like, okay, then I guess you got to throw out the Mandalorian too, because she helped get Favreau on board. So do you not like
And
Mandalorian?
we love the Mandalorian.
And we love the Mandalorian. We're getting Ahsoka.
Yep.
We're getting Ahsoka. So I don't know. You might want to pump the brakes a little bit.
Pump the brakes a lot of it.
Pump the brakes a lot of it.
Grogu was a national treasure.
Lindy Fitness says I still need to watch it. Ooh.
Yeah, Taken 2 did have so many issues, Lindy Fitness. Speaking of transitional segues into unrelated topics, Mission 7 Possible. Wait, hold up. I said that all wrong.
Mission
Impossible 7 updated cast list has finally come out, and it is a doozy. There's no plot specific information that's come out from Mission Impossible 7, but it's apparently shooting back to back with Mission Impossible 8, so they're probably at least very well intertwined, or at least the locations and the shooting schedule and the logistics of shooting the two films is closely intertwined to save money, because you got everybody together. They did it with The Matrix. So
Lindy Fitness, is there a cool black guy in it?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna bulldoze my way through this list because it's long. I'm probably gonna mess up some of these names. Hit me with the speed run timer, Kenny, as well as the mistake counter, and let's go. So we got Tom Cruise, of course he's in it. Ving Rhames, yep. Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Angela Bassett, Pop, Vanessa Kirby, Frederick Smith, Henry Snurtsky, ESI Morales, Haley Atwell, Palm Kalimnev, Shia Wingham, that's it. Rob Delaney, Charles Parnell, Idira Virma, Mark Gatiss, Carrie. Wait.
You know this.
Kari?
Search your feelings.
Elwes?
You know it'd be true. Carrie Hughes.
Yeah, I know. None of those people were Idris Elba, and none of those names were how you say Idris Elba.
Director, writer, producer, DJ.
DJ. Nice, but yeah, there's a pretty solid list of folks across tons of different media that we all enjoy. So it should be pretty solid. I'm always happy to see some Game of Thrones folks out there, some Marvel folks out there, some other Rule of Three third IP out there. Goalkeeper, yes, goalkeeper Idris Elba.
I was gonna say, so it's Final Fantasy VII. Oh my gosh, we both can't remember the title of this movie. Mission Impossible 7 was supposed to be filming earlier, 2020, and part of the decision to go ahead and do the filming back to back. So there had been talk of that before, but with everything that happened last year with the pandemic. Once they got the green light to shoot in London and get some of the other shots in Europe, and especially some spots that had hot spots that they need to get shots and done with, it kind of was rolling into like the script for 8 was already completed. They knew so many people were still going to be around, so it's like, let's just go ahead and knock this out. And even if you need to redo some stuff later, it's like you might get to the end of 8 and be like, we're good to go. It's like maybe we just need to do some reshoots. So from a logistics and cost thing, that just made a ton of sense. Also, just not knowing what this year was going to look like as well. So, I know some people don't like the Mission Impossible franchise or Tom Cruise. It's usually don't like Tom Cruise, so you don't like the Mission Impossible franchise. I get that. I just like what he's doing for the art form, though. So if you've ever watched one recently and have not been glued to your seat from a set piece point, let's have a conversation. But we'll keep moving.
I don't think I've ever seen a Mission Impossible film.
How could you?
I mean, I already saw. Okay. What was that? What was that show? I already saw Max Payne the animated series, so I feel like it's like essentially that.
That's not. Wow.
Same show.
Wow.
Same show.
Wow. Max Payne. You could at least have Fast and Furious.
Is that a more similar series? I've also never seen a Fast and Furious film. But I feel like Fast and Furious is basically like the Saints Row of cinema, where like they start off and they're like, yeah, we're gonna be a serious movie about automotive racing or whatever, and then at some point they're just like jetpacks, space, volcanoes. Like I'm sure like in Fast and Furious like 14, like they're gonna like fight Thanos or something. I don't know. Or they'll race Thanos for the Infinity Gauntlet.
So, Saints Row cinema. Because it did. What's funny is like, oh gosh, that analogy hits so hard. Because the first movie,
I ain't even seen none of the movies, and I know it's true.
Because they do try to be serious, the first one, and then it gets just because Saints Row is trying to be GTA, and they're like, screw that, we're gonna. And then they send you to hell. There's one gats out of hell.
Yep,
gets it. Oh god.
Your character goes from being the mayor in the third game. Like you're just like a gangster in like the first two. You become the mayor of the city in the third game. And then you become the president of the United States in the fourth game, and you also have superpowers. Like that's Fast and Furious if I've ever heard it.
I mean, they effectively have superpowers because of the stuff they survive. Then like, it's like you should be dead. There's no way you survived that fall. Not just
There's only so many times that somebody can shoot at your head and you don't get hit.
Yeah, I'm not for folks that are like, well, you're talking other action movies. I'm not talking about other action movies where you. I mean, I'm talking about scene after scene after scene after scene, or within the same scene, you've survived 3 life-shattering crashes that you shouldn't be walking straight, at least. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Quick thing on Doctor Strange 2. So Doctor Strange 2 is not finished filming, but they've wrapped up most of their principal cinematography in London. The key bit of news we got from a user whose name Somerset Live shared a report that they're filming scenes in Somerset, that's the account, and set at a farm, and apparently they've saw 2 young kids there that fit the description of Billy and Tommy from WandaVision. Now, what is that going to mean for multiverse for Doctor Strange 2? Not sure, because we've heard tell that it's possibly going to be Strange trying to clean up the mess that Wanda made in her TV series, kick off from there, or it might be completely separate, and that's more of like a tie-in to something else, right? So could just be a cameo scene, but we have not gotten confirmed that the 2 actors who played them were on set, just that the description matched.
And they also heard, quote unquote, mention of Elizabeth Olsen possibly being on site, but it's not confirmed.
Yeah. So that would be, that'd be cool. We know we're getting Wanda. It's going to be their team up for Ragnarok kind of movie, like you had with Thor and Hulk. So will appreciate that. But there's so many ways they can go. I mean, Mordo could come back and just wreak havoc and be like, yo, I told you I wasn't letting sorcerers have magic no more. And then we got the Scarlet Witch running around doing crazy stuff. I got to take her out.
Here.
I don't know. Why did I get into that point?
I don't know, but I was like, I could tell that if you weren't going to, you needed to end that voice with that phrase. But all in more MCU news, the What If series that's coming out to Disney Plus later this year has some certain concepts that they revealed already for new designs for Ultron and Thanos.
Well,
I am super excited. Wait,
yeah, and
do
I
you have more
apologize.
for-
I said it was designed. Yeah, so you're right. It's Ultron. I apologize. I put the wrong note on there. It's Gamora wearing Thanos' armor and wielding his dual-bladed sword.
Ooh.
And for folks that are wondering, like, how can she carry that? Go rewatch Guardians 2 when she's got the
Because she's
freaking
strong.
gun from the ship, and it's just like walking it and blasting at Nebula.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited about What If as a series. When I was a kid, I think like I had as much approximate knowledge of many things as children often have. But I think it was the What If series that like really got me into comics. To like in the sense of like not just having my dad tell me stories about them or other stuff like that, but actually going out and spending my own money to buy comics was because of the What If series. So I'm super excited to see what kind of stuff they do with this. I'm really hoping they do like what if X character was Spider-Man, or what if X character became the Hulk, because those were the two specifically for me that got me to go out and physically buy comic books.
I know some things we're getting for certain is like Peggy Carter becoming Cap. There's something happening in Wakanda, or at least Black Panther will be featured because they got Chadwick Boseman to record some lines. So we will get to hear some of his last voice acting in the What If series for this first season. And it's 10
episodes.
10 episodes for this first season. No words yet if it's going to be a Thanos snap redo. Like if there's going to be a different version that could have happened. Because I
would assume they would do the inverse of everybody who didn't get snapped got snapped, and whoever did get snapped didn't.
Oh, hold on. Look at the wait. Kenneth goes back to look at the list. You look at who's alive. It was a buff collector wearing a suit of armor. Doctor Strange and looks like Hulkbuster armor. Gamora wearing Thanos' armor. That's Ooh, that's interesting.
Isn't it? Right?
Ooh. Like if if a different crew.
It would be interesting to see. I would be down to watch maybe like a 2.5 hour What If for the last two films of what happens if the inverse people are snapped. Like what happens in that scenario? And probably the answer is everybody gets dunked on and they lose and they die. But I would watch it because I like reading those I like watching and reading those kinds of stories because I don't think heroes should always win.
I don't disagree with you. I just want them to come up with a better reason than Star-Lord beating the mess out of Thanos, and that's the reason everything goes to crap.
Well, I mean, Doctor Strange did already tell them, like, there's only one timeline that we win, and based off of what we saw, it wasn't the timeline where Star-Lord stays chill and calm. So,
but you know what? You know what I think is a fatal flaw in that? We don't know how far he was able to see.
I mean,
because surely
he ain't the dollar store sorcerer. He ain't the pretty good wizard.
But he doesn't wear a hat.
Supreme.
So
he doesn't have a hat. He doesn't have a hat.
Doesn't have a hat. No, because it's like he knew obviously up until the end of where Iron Man was gonna snap and would finish Thanos there. So he at least knew that much because he's like, if I tell you, it won't happen. All right. Yep. So he at least saw that much.
Because he would have been like, you mean I got to do what now? And he's like, nah.
That's like, yeah, let me not tell you that. Maybe he saw the version where he did tell him that, and he was like,
I'm sure he did. And Tony was like, nah, I bet you I can make a robot that'll snap it. It'll be fine. No. And then he does it and it doesn't work, and he's like, oh,
damn. But it's like, did he know the world was going to be like crap? Because Tony was going to specifically ask for everyone to come back in that year instead of sending them back to when everything originally happened. You know, if he was like, crap, I didn't think the world was going to be this terrible. God.
Well, I mean, let's assume that every other scenario is terrible doomsday scenario. He's probably like, okay, cool. There's literally no timeline where we're just hopping and bopping and everything's hunky dory. But this is the one that I'm gonna pick that sucks the least. Because we actually end up beating Thanos and we don't all die in the process.
All right, that's fair. Fine, fair. I still have feels about it. Let's see, we had another follow. Oh, Nate! Digna, thank you for the follow. Appreciate having you on.
Pop. Thank you very much. Pop.
Let's see, what do we have next?
Segment for Jamesers Gamers.
Oh, I didn't even say the segment name when we launched it.
Yeah, you did.
Damn. No, for the Cinephiles? I don't know. Did I say it? Okay. So, folks,
that
was the movie segment.
I just thought it really loudly or something.
It really loudly. So that was the previous segment for the Cinephiles. If you like that segment title or you have a better one, let us know in the comments. We will consider it. And when I put the text up for next week, you might see that or actually, maybe we could just keep rotating. That might be too much work, but we'll find out. All right. For the gamers.
Yes. Also, we'll call this, I don't know, a very original title. Let's call it Attack of the Show. No, I'm kidding. So, let's see. Gaming time. Amazon unfortunately canceled their planned Lord of the Rings MMO. Which initially, when you hear that title, you're like, oh, Amazon failing to produce another video game? What shocking and appalling news that I didn't see coming. I mean, they've had so many successful games that have definitely not launched and then unlaunched. That doesn't happen. But this one's actually not their fault. They had planned to release the game with Athlon Game Studios, which is owned by the Liu Holding Company. But apparently back in December, that company was purchased by Tencent Holdings Company. And the terms under which they were developing the game have since dissolved, and they, have reached one of those, we can't come to an agreement, and blah, 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 which is likely that, Tencent Holdings Company wants them to pay like buku bucks. They want that Amazon money for them to be able to make a Lord of the Rings MMO. And Amazon's like, nah. Despite the fact they got Amazon money, they ain't just throwing around Amazon money for no reason. So, understandable.
Mm-hmm. Independence has got milk money.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I kind of you still wonder, would it have come out good? And I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, let's take a quick bop. Let's see what Athlon Game Companies produced before. Game Companies.
See, while you're pulling that, I can't even remember what the game was that we've been ranking on the past summer when they were talking about canceling it. It wasn't Anthem.
Oh yeah, the other Amazon game that didn't even come out. Yeah,
the Fortnite clone or something,
and got unreleased because they tried to do 5 genres all at the same time, and it just didn't go.
None of them well. Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything. I'm they have a website. Did they? I'm under the impression. Okay, no, that's because this is just a what is this? Is this just a subdivision of Amazon?
Is this their first game?
I feel like it is. Let me see.
And you were going to take on a Lord of the Rings MMO.
Okay, no. So they were collaborating with Liu Holdings, Liu Technology. So it is like a subsidiary of Amazon. It's their game studio that was going to collaborate with this other company, who's probably actually good at making games. I don't know, to look into it, but maybe they are, maybe they're not. But basically, they got bought. They don't want to work with them anymore because they want that. They probably want that money. Amazon's not going to give it to them, so it dissolves. Probably, honestly, it's in Amazon's best interest because they don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes to
They really don't. It's bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. lovers out there, and also for the Last of Us fans. So you already know Pedro Pascal has been cast to play Joel in the Last of Us TV show, and Gabriel Luna, who played Ghost Rider in the ABC Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, will be playing his brother. What's the brother's name? Tommy, the younger brother of Joel. So, because a lot of this is going to be pre what you see in the game of Last of Us and lead into that time frame. So we'll get to see a lot of things that happened in the lead up to that, into the first game.
Terrence says that they're stoked for what's it called? Last of Us TV show.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a good thing to be stoked for. It looks like it'll be decent.
And Terrence also a big Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, I mean, Ghost Rider was one of the better parts of that. Before because I petered in and out for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, now how I feel about another zombie show though, so it's not really, my disdain is not really at Last of Us. I want people to be clear. That's not really what the problem is. It's just more of like, it's another zombie show on TV. Like, good Lord, we haven't even been able to kill The Walking Dead, and it's still going. Like it just won't leave us alone.
That's because it's a zombie, Kenneth. It's what they do. They keep coming back and they don't leave you alone. Like telemarketers or solicitors. But speaking of things coming back, now that's a transition. Sony is keeping the PS3 and the PS Vita servers online. If you recall, just a few weeks ago, probably two and a half, we had a story of that Sony had, officially come out and said that they were going to be shutting down their servers for the PS3, PSP, and the PS Vita. PSP servers are still going offline. Ain't nobody playing PSP. But most of the stuff that's on the PSP, you can play on the PS Vita. So, if you're still hobbing and bobbing around with a PSP, maybe it's time to upgrade.
It's been time to upgrade.
Maybe you should consider. But basically, the brass came out and said, they were wrong. There was the wrong move to announce like that they were shutting down the PS3 and the PS Vita based off of the amount of public outcry about the preservation of downloadable content, of download only content, and that also not everybody can make the console shift. Even at this point, systems are expensive. We're in a pandemic. Maybe the middle of a pandemic is not the ideal time to go buying a PS5 or even a PS4. Not everybody can upgrade. So it's like some folks are still playing on those systems because they work just fine. The games are still fun. And the graphical increase, because people love talking about graphics so much, is minimal. So they're going to keep that stuff online. Folks had reported that they had found, after they had announced that they were going offline, that there was some stuff like they couldn't buy certain things through the PSN store, and they were getting some errors and stuff like that. So hopefully they'll resolve that. I'm guessing that when a couple of game developers heard that they were basically being forcibly sunset off of their projects, or their IPs were going to be, or not IPs, but their games are going to get shut down and removed from the store. They probably pulled the plug from their end or something along those lines. So they got to plug it back in and re-authenticate and all that razzmatazz. But good news for folks who have large libraries of downloadable content on those systems. It's all good stuff.
I mean, this is just another reason why I like having physical content, but and I want to couch that with, please don't take that as me advocating for physical content. I love having my library of stuff, but if you want to be fully digital,
I can tell.
but seriously, if you want to be fully digital, you should have the option to do that. But the problem is, and it's not saying Microsoft is blameless from this either, but I will say they at least have made a more concerted effort to keep some of their architecture, as far as we will at least keep if this thing is backwards compatible, it's going to be backwards compatible. So anything that's been like an Xbox backwards compatible has been backwards compatible going forward. So I applaud them for that. So again, you wish the list was longer, but the list is still a good, robust list. Whereas Sony has done almost none of that. Nintendo, the store changes every generation, so it's like different things you've purchased. Some things have been some purchases are respected across the store, some aren't. And in Sony in particular, they kind of had for a little bit there. You had this ecosystem that seemed like it was going to be friendly with each other, regardless of like backwards compatibility. But just as far as like, oh, I bought this thing, and I can still see it on the PSN store, and now that's in jeopardy. So that's the thing that frustrates me, is that if you want to be a digital player and keep a robust digital library, your options are kind of limited. It's almost like, I swear, it's almost like you're going to need to back up your downloaded copy somewhere, just so that
perhaps in physical form. But yeah, I see absolutely what you're saying, and it's like, if you go download only, then you're essentially offloading the storage requirement from disk onto yourself. If you want to have it all, you gotta keep it all. And the downside with storing digital media is that data gets corrupted.
Yeah.
Over time. Like that's just happen. That just happens over time. You read and you write, you read and you write, and you read and you write, and you read and you write, and eventually things get a little bit fucky wucky. And now you can't play this game anymore. Which is a shame, but it's the pain of digital media. And preservation of data it's something we all got to deal with.
Yeah. All right. But speaking of some preservation,
speaking of zombies, transitional segue from 2 to 3 topics ago.
Zombies. Oh no! Where's the video? No.
Uh-oh,
SpaghettiOs.
Well, we'll just tell them what's there. House of the Dead remake for Switch debuted a trailer this past week, and it doesn't look like that. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction this time because I planned it. It doesn't look like that. But there's no word if we're getting a special Joy-Con / Gun-Con for this release, though. But that would be pretty sick if we did.
Yeah. So if you were asking why I said that, we got gameplay trailer. Would look pretty cool if you could show it to you. Apologize for that. But they never show that person playing it. So it looks like, so basically, if you've never played a House of the Dead series, it's a classic like Area 51, trying to think of some other Time Crisis light gun games, and then House of the Dead specifically, once it got to like the Wii and the PlayStation era, like if you had the PlayStation Move controllers or the Wii nunchucks or the Wiimote, it got really good. Playing House of the Dead 2 and 3, or House of the Dead Returns 2 and 3 on the Wii, and House of the Dead Overkill on the Wii and the PS3 were really good. Just like light gun adaptations for those consoles. But we really haven't got one in a while, so hearing the remake come out on the Switch is cool. But I do have legit how is that going to work?
How's it going to play?
So maybe it's the IR sensor on the front of the Joy-Con. Maybe that will be how it works, but then if you put it to your TV, then it just seems like there's a peripheral coming. It just seems like there's a peripheral coming. No confirmation on that, but it just seems like there's a peripheral coming.
Call it a sixth sense. I would say, Kenny, when you were searching for games to compare it to, Area 51, solid arcade classic. What was the other one? Time Crisis, solid arcade classic. I would probably most likely compare it to Typing of the Dead. It's like exactly like that game, except with guns.
I always wanted that as a kid, though.
I've played it back in college. It was a good refresh to get my typing skills back up. It's a good game.
Because I just wanted I wanted my parents to be able to walk in and be like, "Are you playing video games?" It's like, "No, I'm typing.
I'm learning how to type. Get at me, Dad."
It'd just be and then honestly, it'd be just for that bit. Yeah, that's how dedicated I would be to a bit.
Probably throw the disc out of the window, whatever.
As soon as it's like, oh, okay, did I get it? Did I get a good chuckle or did I get a good eye roll? All right. Ooh,
Yeah, Lindy
says,
Fitness says, Time Crisis is superior to House of the Dead in every way. Don't you dare put them in the same sentence. I absolutely agree. Like, me and my dad used to throw down hard in some Time Crisis when I was a kid. And he was always like the kind of person who could beat Time Crisis end to end on a single credit. So, I was well trained.
What?
Yep.
I need to see this.
I don't know if he's got the chops now. It's been a long time since that man has probably set foot in an arcade. But I remember when I was a kid, he would put in $1 and he would just go.
Yeah, I still have Crisis 4 and Raging Storm for my PS3, but again, the reason I said Lindy Fitness, the reason I said Wii and PS3 is because they're kind of the only way you can play a light gun-ish game unless you put it on your PC and get a Wiimote adapter to play a ROM and emulator of it, and it still feels the weight is wrong. It's just wrong. I don't like it. So
yeah, Lindy Fitness said Virtual Cop and Jurassic Park Lost World shooters, similar mechanics to House of the Dead.
Fine.
Was Virtual Cop that one where you would be in the arcade and you stood on the mat and you had to like weave and duck around bullets and stuff? The boxing version of that was pretty cool too. That was a good one. Arcade instant classic.
Virtual Cop.
Speaking of instant classics, Kenny's got some information about Alien.
I'm hoping this will be an instant classic. So, for fans of the Alien franchise, for games we have been
there are
pretty
some
lacking
places in the
for a while.
universe.
I apologize, folks. I think that. Let me set the volume's gonna be. Let me set the volume here.
It's up.
All right, so. Folks that love the Aliens franchise.
Volume is a little bit high. Bring it down a tad.
Yeah, I think it should be good now.
Perfect.
There we go. So, if you played the old school Alien trilogy on like Sega Saturn, PlayStation, that was a pretty solid entry. The Alien vs Predator, like Instinct, and like the real-time strategy games have been really solid. And then Alien Isolation, fantastic horror game to kind of pull off the original Alien game. But any shooters in the franchise have been god awful. It's just been atrocious. We talked about Colonial Marines way back, probably around the same time last year, and I was complaining. Oh yeah, because the article came out about the bug, and it's like there was a bug, or sorry, it was one word. It was one word, and if you adjusted it in the code, the aliens all of a sudden understood where to move around you, and the director, effectively the AI director, knew how to create the tension in the scene, right? But without it, they're just standing around not doing anything.
The word was set alien AI from bad to good.
So this is the new fire team in the same spirit as Aliens Colonial Marines, but it's expected to be much better. The different classes. Actually, let me go to my notes. So, joke. You have the tools and talent to take on alien threats dispatched by the government to take on. So this is going to be set after Alien 3, when everyone knows that aliens exist. So there's no longer like a hidden secret. The galaxy's having to deal with it now. And you're going to get to play against different xenomorph types. And specifically, the thing that popped on my eyes is they set a number of 11. So there's going to be things that you haven't seen in the movies, and probably, and I hope, fingers crossed, is going to reference some Dark Horse Comics, Earth War stuff. If you've ever read that, it's probably the best Aliens thing to read, aside from like rewatching some of the, like, if you're like, oh, the other movies are bad, I don't want to watch those. Go read Earth War. It'll satisfy your fix, I promise.
It's so good.
But yeah, when they say 11 types, that stands out. I'm like, so there's probably xenomorph classes, but I'm hoping we'll get some nods to the comics. And again, so you have a variety of different weapons. Of course, the pulse rifle and classic frag grenades will be there, which will have some like shock grenades to stun aliens into place. You can put some auto turrets like they did in the movie Aliens. You have different classes.
Power loader, I'm sure.
If not, they no, just kidding.
I one of my favorite things that I learned about like the alien power scaling community is how the power loader is used as like the reference the reference point. It's like when you're talking about like, oh, like Dragon Ball Z power levels, like, oh, is he stronger than Mystic Gohan? Like, is he stronger than, Kid Buu or whatever? Like, oh, is this alien stronger than a power loader, or a little more, a little less?
Yeah. So when we show the show notes, definitely read through the classes that they just really excited. Like, you build a craft different teams, kind of like in a Halo Firefight sort of way. Or actually, sorry. The difficulty would scale like a Halo Firefight. I think that's what I was trying to say. So if a one run play feels easy, you could up the difficulty, and it should feel progressively harder and harder. It's going to come on all your major consoles and on PC this summer. So they don't have an official release date this summer, but somehow we missed it in March. And again, me being an Alien fan, I just wanted to be like, gotta put this out to Euro. Get some attention on this game because I'm excited about it.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's gonna be dope. I'm really hoping that they deliver, because it sounds like it sounds ambitious. It sounds hard. It honestly just sounds hard to do. But I think that it sounds like it could be pretty dope. I mean, like the Predator game that came out recently, which we didn't talk that much about because I think it's PS4 exclusive. I want to say PS5. It's an exclusive, or maybe it's Xbox exclusive. I think it's exclusive to some system
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I know it's exclusive to something that I can't play, so I assume it's console. But I mean, I've watched folks playing it, and it looks really good. So I'm hoping that a Alien game that comes out around the same time frame could be really, really good, because you're dying for more content. While you look that up, Kenny, Dying Light and Rust are getting a crossover. Announced earlier today around before-ish EST. Rust announced that they and Dying Light are doing a crossover. There's going to be some really big global goals as well as local ones. The global goal being, I think it's like to kill 1 million of some particular enemy. Kill 1 million bandits. And then the local goals for the folks who are, very familiar with Rust are like collecting different materials and crafting specific blueprints that basically grant you a custom skins for different types of stuff, which should be pretty cool. I mean, part of the Rust experience is showing off dank skins for stuff. So, but you can see the trailer playing over on the side. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm excited because Rust is super fun, and I feel like merging it with a Dying Light crossover is big enough and refreshing enough to change the gameplay in a really big, exciting way, away from the hide in your house and pray that the group of 15 people group doesn't raid you, and that they raid your neighbor instead. Or counter-raiding that group of 15 people.
And for so Predator Hunting Grounds was on PS4 and PC.
Okay, that's it.
No, I could have had a staggered release. Yeah, it says it's on PC.
Huh. I remember when I was watching videos, I like it wasn't out on PC yet. Maybe it did have a staggered release.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's coming out on wait. Did that come out? It's
out today.
Oh wow, they announced it and it came out today? Wow.
Yeah.
Neat. All right, cool. It's running for a whole week until April 26th. So get in on it. Watch those streamers, get those kills in. It's time to start crafting some BPs. Get out there.
All right. Moving on to tech bits. I don't like it. We're gonna do what Lindy Fitness said. Check the tech for today.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll see.
I'm gonna type it in the notes right now.
So this segment, we're gonna try to add some more tech news. So throughout the Monday show. Now, this does not mean that our site's already overwhelmed trying to cover all the other things. So it's not saying that we're gonna start covering tech as far as like in articles and things. There's plenty of other sites doing that. There's some things that kind of cross over we find are still important, and especially we've been talking. like EA legal decisions, I still think there's some like tech legal decisions that we should probably be aware of and on conscious of. So whenever leaks happen, like as far as consumer information, things like that. So, but one that's probably affects everyone if you've ever used a PDF or used anything built with like Adobe products. Charles Geschke is co-founder of Adobe and the inventor of the PDF, the thing that has frustrated millions
everywhere. How do I convert this to this document to a PDF?
Yeah. So he passed away at the age of 81. Had worked at Xerox for a long time, where he'd worked with John Warnock. Him and John Warnock were the ones that would go to co-found Adobe. Something I didn't know about him. In 1992, he survived a kidnapping attempt. 2 men snatched him after a work in the morning, held him for 4 days, demanding a ransom, and the FBI rescued him. That's
pretty bonkers. Yeah, that's one of those things I have to imagine. It's like, oh, give us a bunch of money, and it's like, wait, do you know who I am? Are you not Steve Wozniak? No. It's like, God, this is the 5th time this month. Oh man, but yeah, like fantastic contributions to the world of computer science and computer technology. That we're still using that same technical design to this day. And the computer science industry is one, or just the technical industry. Maybe not technical industry. I'll say computer industry specifically is one wherein we are standing on the shoulders of giants who wrote these framework architectures that you can still go out and read today. Like if you for some reason were possessed to write your own file transfer protocol, like it's there. The protocol is more or less exactly the same as it was probably when it came out, with minor adaptations to adjust for stuff, which I'm only putting in there because I can't say for certain that it has never changed. But there's that kind of stuff is written and basically kind of chiseled into stone, and we've just been using it forever because it's reliable and it still works. Not to say that it is without criticism, that we shouldn't update it, but when it works, it works.
That's a great segue into our next topic, which is a strong criticism on Google and their FLoC ads. Now, if you don't know what FLoC is, actually let me back up. So if you don't know what Chromium is, it's the open source way that you can develop a browser. So this is the thing that Opera, Firefox, Brave, different browsers are currently based off of. So it doesn't mean that they're all Google Chrome, but they're effectively sharing that kind of architecture and how they design their browsers. So what is FLoC? It's federated learning of cohorts, or again, FLoC, which is going to be a different way to store cookies, or another proprietary way to store cookies. It would allow the algorithm to look at your browser history and place you in a group of people with similar browsing history so that advertisers can target you. So while it might be more private than cookies, it also has some potential privacy implications of its own if it's not implemented right. And so far, Mozilla, Safari, Brave, and Opera have all declined to implement or have made any plans to implement it in their browsers. So if you like your security and don't want to mess with FLoC and use any of those browsers, you should be good. Hence why I stomp for Firefox all day.
Yep. I mean, straight up, it's 2021. Why are you using Google Chrome anyway? That thing eats up so much memory. It is bonkers. If you're like, oh, wow, my computer's running slow and I have 3 programs open. Why is this? It's you pop open Control-Alt-Delete and go to your task manager, and for no particular reason, Google Chrome is eating up 80% of your memory just cause.
It's
if that's not reason enough.
It's like, I want my computer to run like garbage. Let me open up Chrome. You just see a little Chrome gremlin pouring gasoline.
Impression.
I
do want my computer to run like hot garbage. Let me fire up this here Chrome application. and leave it idle for just an hour or two.
And Chrome will just pour gasoline all over your CPU.
Oh man.
Oh gosh. Let's see. So I'll definitely keep.
Stop using Chrome.
Yeah, don't use Chrome. So how do you feel about hiding like counts?
Let's see. On a scale of 1 to good. Good, generally. I feel like the general populace, and obviously I'm not talking about you, dear listener, but the general populace tends to kind of, what's the word? Like herd mentality of like, oh, this person is popular, and therefore their opinion is meaningful or even correct. And I think that, you know, sometimes we can get under that belt. And so maybe not knowing how many other people think that somebody's random opinion, you know, off the cuff is like super valuable, maybe it'll influence you substantially less to see that they have, you know, X number of hundreds of thousands subscribers, followers, likes, whatever. And you'll take whatever they have to say at face value or with a grain of salt, whatever your turn of phrase is.
Yeah. So Instagram today, but this was written today in an article from Verge, but it was 2 days ago, had been working on this in 2019, but as they were getting ready to implement it in 2020 with COVID hitting, they chose to prioritize other things as far as like community support. So this was put on the back burner. But the idea is that for you as the user, you get to choose what you see. So it's not necessarily, from my understanding, you may be able to change it if you're a person that's presenting it out. So it's like it's your post that has the like count on it. But at least in this initial run or go of it, it would be you could choose whether you initially want to see someone's like count on a particular post. So you can choose how you engage with it at first. Do you actually want to like it, or do you want to dislike it, or so on and so forth?
Interesting.
Instagram was kicking this off. And then, so we put Twitter in there as well. Twitter has not had this program yet, but after seeing some of the positive responses, seems like they want to try some test runs of this on their own. And also Instagram being owned by Facebook, Facebook's also going to consider implementing this in their approach for Facebook posts as well. So yeah,
interesting.
I think it could be a really huge mental health boost as well.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I was thinking of it from the perspective of a layperson, but for people who are influencers as well, like the amount of pressure that you're under to perform constantly is immense, you know, based off of accounts of people who are made to perform constantly. So maybe like being able to disable it and step away and simply be able to look at stuff without being accosted by the mental necessity of your position to crunch data.
Yeah.
Is like a pleasurable experience for them, because they can if they would just want to watch something without having it to be comparative. Right now they can't do that. I'm like, oh, he's making content just like mine, but like, you know, he has
got
4 times the engagement.
Yeah. Terrence got a good point. Mental health is what YouTube cites as a reason. So YouTube's also rolled out a program similar to this already. And something else that was noted in an article from Instagram, and they were particularly concerned about younger users. So it's not that it's not affecting other people or other age groups as well, but particularly young users, first-time users going for the first time interacting with Instagram, or dealing with this and facing this a lot as well.
Interesting.
All right, so I want to give applause where it's due. Go ahead, Instagram. I want to see how this goes.
I think this topic seems deep enough that this is worth further review, because there's a lot of different perspectives here, and literally every time you say something, I'm like, oh wait, it's like I was thinking about the common person. It's like, oh wait, yeah, what about the content creators? Like, oh wait, think of the children.
So we said Twitter was working on this. And we have additional information from Twitter of a new program they're going to roll out to check the harmfulness of their the harmfulness and the fairness of their algorithms. As part of an effort they've dubbed the Responsible Machine Learning Initiative, data scientists and engineers from across the company will study potential unintentional harms caused by its algorithms and make the findings public. So they're going to try to take a real honest look and approach at what they've been, how their system has been working so far, and then see how fair that's been to current users, and then make adjustments so far. So one example to start was the image cropping algorithm, which has been criticized as being biased towards people with lighter skin. So it's like not understanding words that adjust the crop for a photo, and or like cutting people to lighter skin completely off from a larger group photo. And then something that really stood out to me in its content recommendations, including a fairness assessment of our home timeline recommendations across racial subgroups, and an analysis of the content recommendations for different political ideologies across 7 countries. Now, given everything, all the nonsense we've had the last 4 to 8 years, I'd be curious to see what that political ideology part, how that plays out, particularly the racial subgroups. That definitely stood out as could be a positive. I think one of the concerns is if you've already had these issues, if you have the same people looking at it, will that help you address it? But I don't know. So I don't know how much of that. There's so many factors in there, like the people that built the algorithm, how the algorithm reacts to the people that are plugging or your inputs to it, and then like the information they're going to get back on this, and do they perceive that as do they perceive it as a problem, or they're like, oh, that's just how it's supposed to work, we're good.
Yeah, and like that goes back to, a system that is constructed in a biased, shall we say, environment or culture will inherently be biased, because all of the people who created it are already biased. And unless you're doing things to actively work against it, not to say that you will completely overcome it, but you won't be able to make a better, less biased system until you decrease the overall bias of the people who are creating it. So, you got to diversify if you want to actually address some of these things, because you're not going to get the opinions that you don't think about. Like how with the previous conversation, like every point that you brought up was like, oh wait, I didn't think about, the content creator. Like, oh wait, I didn't think about, the youth users.
The youths.
The youths. So it's like you need those other perspectives, or else the system that you create is going to be just a shinier version of the one you already had.
Yeah. Got to diversify your bonds.
Precisely. You got to buy Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
Lindy Fitness said, will they adjust the algorithms to stop favoring pretty white people, though? The world may never know.
Probably not.
It's a runaway train. Runaway train. And our last bit in check the tech. Check the tech. Tech check. Checkity tech. Checky tech.
Can I get the check?
Can I get the tech?
No, wait, that doesn't work. That's more of a food thing. We'll get there. We'll workshop the title with a series of
check
memes.
the tech though. We got this for right now. Twitch. Hey, the platform we're broadcasting on. Hey, Twitch. Howdy.
Yep.
Also, Jerry, I have seen you on Facebook. It's just the comments came up, so you're winking at me, winking at us. Also, we miss you, Jerry. Come back, Jerry.
Come back. I can change. No, I can't.
Got dark.
It's a trick.
Let's see. Twitch bots are getting the boot, but we all know it'll just be back in a month. Specifically, Twitch discovered 7.5 million bot accounts have been inflating streamer stats, and this was a tweet from Twitch on their Twitter account. So they've started removing those accounts and warned users that you may see a sudden decrease in the follower and viewer count over the coming days. Not something that I think we have to worry about, because we know all of our warm and friendly people that have liked our stream, like Vartan.
Yep.
Thank you for liking over on the Facebook stream.
And none of them are definitely robots of any kind. Nope. No robots.
No robots.
No robots here. Yep.
Yep, we did
I'd
not.
like to believe that like they're like, oh, you guys might see some of your viewer count like drop or whatever, and there's like one person out there with 7.5 million users that just all disappear overnight, and like they're all his bots. And he's like, what happened to my audience? There's no distribution whatsoever. It's just that.
Just one person. That would be insane.
Man.
Them sweet dollars. All right.
All right.
But seriously, I think it'll drop for a little bit and then it'll be back. This is going to be a thing Twitch has constantly got to fight. I mean, we fight people botting our forums that we barely use on the website.
You gotta wonder what the motivation is.
They're trying to get them spams. Them spams, baby. All
It's
right.
like, oh man, hot singles in my area? Hell yeah.
So let me switch back to the video view because Capcom was busy. Capcom got busy. Resident Evil Village 8, Resident Evil 8, but I don't know what we're calling it. Vil 8, Evil.
Village. Resident Evil 8 Village. Resident Evil Pillage. Illage?
Illage.
The
Great.
illest Resident Evil. Resident Evil Village. There you go. We got it.
So, for the folks that have been thirsting over Damariscu, Lady Damariscu, yeah,
So
they've got. Actually, we've probably all been saying the name wrong. I've heard different
Midnight moon
pronunciations of
rises on black
that. So
wings.
we're gonna get that
We
trailer.
await the
Actually,
light at the end.
sorry, folks. I know
you
volume. I apologize. I know. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna adjust the volumes on these other ones. So we got 3 trailers just for Resident Evil. That's nuts. That's crazy. I don't think we've had this much Resident Evil news since it was like Resident Evil 4 and the Resident Evil movies back in the day, which in hindsight, yeah, it was just good that we got Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I love how like little the Resident Evil films have to do with Resident Evil.
They just became their own thing.
Yep.
But aesthetically, actually, speaking of Resident Evil 4, I know we're gonna talk about that trailer that came up in a second. But ever since Village was announced, we've gotten such vibe. I feel like a really cool vibe between Resident Evil 7, which is kind of like getting back to the roots and like shrunk it back down. It's like we're gonna focus on you being in this house with a bunch of crazies, and this is expanding kind of from that spot on, and then but still got some of the bigger world elements that Resident Evil 4 had, where other people was like, yeah, there's still some things that are going on behind the scenes that you're gonna need to investigate. Hence the teases from the lady. What is it? Not Chris Redfield. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is Chris. Yeah, it is Chris. Yeah. Sorry, take it back. Who pops up at the end of this trailer. And then spoilers. If they're on here watching, come on. Also, kind of get the sense there's some different factions to a degree, or all is not harmonious in the village of the baddies, right? So there might be people kind of vying for control. None of them on your side, it still appears. And we got a lot of werewolf. We got the mention of a lichens in it, which definitely tipped them like, we're getting some werewolf play here. Okay, all right, I like it.
I really hope they include like somewhere in the game you find a whip, and then like Dracula shows up, or like in the distance, like you see, like even if you don't pick it up, like you see a whip like on the ground, and you're like, oh, I can't see how that'd be helpful or something, just like as a slight little nod.
That'd be great. I'd be down for it. But that was not the only announcement that we got, and pre-orders are open, so I have secured mine. You probably need to do that before the bots and scalpers try to beat you for slots.
Yep.
And I'm super excited. Let me finish it. Screw the Belmonts. I mean, you're not wrong. Actually, hey, you just gave me my throwback of the week. Thank you, Shelly. But I'm probably not gonna go where y'all think. So, all right, we'll
We'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes. The other thing that was announced So if you play Resident Evil 4 started out as a GameCube exclusive. A lot of people don't remember that, but there's two really cool collectible things with Resident Evil 4 back on the GameCube. There's a GameCube only on GameCube version. So if you buy that one, you've got the little little triangle that says that's hold on to that one. And then second, there was a specific controller made. It was like a chainsaw controller for the GameCube.
Oh yeah,
for Resident Evil 4, which is really dope. Wish I bought it back then. Can't get it. It's like $1,000 now. Ugh. Anyway, but then it got ported to the Wii, which was a pretty good port. Probably one of the better Wii ports that wasn't Nintendo only. So super solid there. And I bring that up because it's probably the best tie-in for this VR announcement for Resident Evil 4. So it is going to be ported to Oculus Quest. So if you're Oculus Quest 2 owner, now no word if that's going to work across Oculus Quest, the original one. I assume if Quest 2 can play it, your Rift and so on and so forth will also be able to play it. And then again, if they can play it on Oculus Quest, and you know how much Sony and PlayStation love each other, wouldn't be surprised if we eventually see this on PS5. That just seems like a no-brainer. But yeah, we're getting a VR version of Resident Evil 4 years after the original release. But honestly, the setup for it makes a lot of sense. If you play Resident Evil 7 in VR, I wouldn't be surprised if you got some of the same engine. Like they'll kind of play off of that a little bit as well for this. So I'm really excited about it.
It sounds pretty cool. As someone who does not yet have a VR headset, I'm definitely adding it to my list of stuff I want to try in VR. Just conceptually, it feels like it fits. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it looks like, at least from now, he's not like from what I can remember and what I'm watching on the trailer again. Didn't really see like running and gunning. That was like the one thing that was tough about Resident Evil 4. While it gave you probably the most freedom you've had in a Resident Evil up to that point, you still were kind of locked into aiming. Now you could run when you wanted to run, you could run, but you kind of had to pick. You had to like, all right, I'm gonna pop, run, get to a spot, pop, run. So it still doesn't seem to be kind of running and gunning. So if you're familiar playing with like Arizona Sunshine or so I'm gonna say like maybe even Robo Recall, where you get used to be able to like move your character a little more fluidly in a VR game, I don't get the sense that it's gonna be like that.
I'm not sure. I mean, like some games, some like I feel like horror games, good horror games, let their control schemes work for the tension of the tension of the game, and I feel like that's something that Resident Evil has, if not always, on the reggy-deggy, they do it very well.
And just like back in the PlayStation days when you had some system limitations, so it's like, all right, we're going to do these fixed perspectives to kind of like, heighten tension and also save on system resources. I guess I'm just saying it to the VR users because if they're expecting it to be like that, if it's expecting it to be like those games, I don't get that sense.
Yes.
Yeah, so... Which is fine by me. I love the control. I love the Resident Evil 4 control scheme. Takes some getting used to since I haven't played it in a bit. Get back into it, but I end up liking it a lot. That's just one of my. I'm glad that it's like when they said this one's going to VR. It's one of my favorite Resident Evil entries. Plus, I had GameCube love. And some people were like, "Oh, how is it?" I'm like, "It's amazing. You should buy a GameCube." Then they released it on PlayStation and 2.
Well, it's timed exclusivity. They don't get it forever.
Fine.
But speaking of exclusives, here's what's going down on Nerd Union this week.
Whoa, we almost forgot a trailer.
Wait, did we?
We almost forgot one. That's what I said. The guy was a lot of news. We finally got a trailer for Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Darkness. Which is going to be the Resident Evil CGI Netflix movie. So we'd been heard tale of it. We got some screenshots from before, but now we got a full on trailer reuniting Leon and Claire in the White House, I might add, on a new mission. So yeah.
It looks interesting. Like I'm like the I'm not sure what to think of the art style. Like, I didn't expect it to be done like a cutscene.
But I mean, it looks good.
I don't dislike it. Like, it looks good.
Yeah. And so we'll get it. Sorry, I had to remind myself of the date. So we're getting it in July of the summer. And so I said the White House thing. So the action you start to see there happens in the White House. So we're kind of getting like a White House down, save the president, Air Force One kind of thing going on, which is kind of funny considering that Leon was already trying to save the president's daughter in Resident Evil 4.
And now we got to save the president.
If it's the same guy, that would be hilarious. I would, if there's like, or if we get a Ashley cameo, she's like hiding in one of the rooms. I would please Netflix, please tell me this happened. Please, oh please tell me this happened. Please.
What would be great is if it's just my president's a zombie, and it's the president gets infected with zombieism, and he has to struggle to continue to be the president of the United States while also being a zombie, and that's the whole show.
So like iZombie.
Yes, exactly like that. Or that one episode of Space Dandy, where they all turn into zombies.
Yeah.
But speaking of zombies, here's what's happening on Nerd Union this week. We got Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, that transition has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. We got Falcon and Winter Soldier discussion group on Tuesdays. That's starting at 7 p.m. CST.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do. Wait, you're gonna start it on? Oh no, so it's this Tuesday. The next one's coming up. Last episode's coming out on what? Thursday Friday morning at 3 a.m.
Me and my roommate will be up watching it. I probably will live tweet it.
I'll watch it on Saturday. Patreon exclusive movie watch on April 30th, Friday at 8 p.m. CST, and the non-Patreon movie watch is coming through the pipe on May 1st, Saturday at 8 p.m. CST.
Yes, I do realize we've shifted one of them, and I realize I need a little rest at home. So we'll just do them both next week. I know one they'll technically put one in May, but we're still going to give you 2 in May. We won't count that one in May. So yeah, you're still going to get, that's our 2 for April. We still get 2 next month. So
yep. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay.
That's it.
What's going down the Commander Ship Show?
So editor's note. I got him and me so hyped up for Mortal Kombat last week. And the date was wrong on my notes. It's not the 13th. It comes out this week on the 23rd. So I apologize. I will definitely be watching it after I do Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I'll watch Falcon, go to bed, wake up and watch Mortal Kombat with some cereal and a bowl.
Some Sub-Zero flakes.
Oh man. Now that you said it, that's what I have to eat. That's what I'm going to do.
It's just Frosted Flakes with ice.
Ooh. We'll be talking that. We got some movie news to recap. We should be mostly caught up, so we've kept pushing off the Ray Fisher, Joss Whedon conversation long enough. So we're going to try to get that timeline knocked out for folks as well. And then let's see. And then Thursday, we got let's see what's going on. Oh, yes, Red Shirt Rejects. We were going to do Voyage Home 2 weeks ago, but we had a bunch of Star Trek news drop, so we just covered Star Trek news. So Voyage Home will be the conversation, would be Star Trek 4 to Voyage Home. That'd be our review of Kyle and Trevor, and I'll be producing on that show. And so just give you our re-review after rewatching it, what we think of that movie now in 2021. And then on Friday, we'll have our video rundown, the rundown with Taryn Bell. They gave you a text update of it the previous week. We got another one loaded up on the site for y'all to enjoy, but we'll be back to video this Friday. So anything we don't get to cover on Monday nights, Taryn, the lovely Taryn, our researcher for the team, takes care of that on Fridays and gives you everything you need to know going into the weekend.
And we want to give a special thanks to our Patreon supporters. We appreciate your monthly contributions, and your support helps us run these live shows and helps us support our upcoming video series. We want to give a shout out to Doug Schumann, Vici, and Shelby Johnson.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah. Do you have a throwback ready?
Let's see.
And if not, I can go to give you time.
Parappa the Rapper.
No, get out.
Have I done Parappa the Rapper before?
No, you haven't. Not in this series.
Cool.
We've talked about it before, but you've not done it as one of your throwbacks.
Hell yeah. Parappa the Rapper is a fantastic game. Came out on the original PlayStation 1. Iconic enough that Parappa the Rapper was included as a character in the PlayStation Smash Brothers game, whatever it's called. But Parappa the Rapper is a lot of fun. Basically, it's about a wholesome rapping dog who is trying to become an adult and like learn how to do stuff. So, he goes to a martial arts school and learns to fight. He gets his driver's license. He learns how to cook. He learns how to... I don't know why he goes to that flea market. But yeah, he does a whole bunch of different stuff. And Parappa the Rapper 2 is even better. And it's the game, the controls are a little bit tighter. It's a little bit easier to play. But the songs for the game slap. Like, go check it out. Listen to it. But more than anything else, play it. It's a lot of fun game. It's a game that is a lot of fun. And I highly recommend it. It's very wholesome. And like, you can sit down with like pretty much, any aged family member and have a good time. Highly recommend.
So I love the Belmont that quote with the whip, and Shelby Lindy Fitness telling us that on the stream, because I have just repicked that. I'd had it before, but it's Castlevania Judgment. It was a specific Castlevania game that came out on the Wii to try to emulate different sword and whip movements on the Wiimote. To a decent degree. It's not necessarily perfect all the time. And a lot of third-party publishers trying to put things like motion controls on the Wii just didn't always do a great job of it. Castlevania Judgment at least does what I'd say like a Twilight Princess level. It's like it's not always trying to be accurate with every single thing. It's just more of your flick will initiate the movement. So if you're okay with that,
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, if you're okay with that, it's not just going to be, you're going to have a lot of fun. Or maybe actually another thing to compare it to is like Mad World. Is that it wasn't looking for your accuracy of how you move the chainsaw in that game. It was just, do you initiate the right swish or movement, and it will pick that up pretty well. So it's a nice little fun Castlevania romp on the Wii, and it was a Wii exclusive. So that'll be my pick. Gonna be hard for some folks to pick up or find. Not saying you got to play it all in 1 week, but just a nod and something to look at. And you streaming anywhere this week?
Yeah, so over at my channel, Imminent Doom X, we're streaming a little bit of, or a lot of bit of Binding of Isaac, because the DLC just came out, and you can watch me struggle to beat the game as every character in every which way and unlock all that glorious content. Also, I'll be streaming a little bit of Rust probably because like that event came out and it's going to be fun, and I want to play it, so... That'll be good. How about you? You streaming anything this week?
Yeah, I will finally be doing more Cyberpunk.
Hey.
I'll be getting on that. I've not rolled the dice for Retro Roulette yet, but we'll find out what... I'll let folks know when I'm going to roll the dice for that, and I'll let you know what the game is going to be. I have some new things to add into the library, so that will change the numbers a little bit, as it always does. And that'll be Sunday afternoon. And then the Oscars are Sunday night. Do I actually want to watch the Oscars? No, but I will stream and cover them. So I'll play some Halo multiplayer Sunday night, and then as the results come in, talk about them live as they come in. But yeah, just the Oscars themselves, even as a movie lover, I can't. So Halo and movies.
I also can't watch the Oscars, but like I've also never cared, so. Shelby, Lindy Fitness said Streets of Rage 2 for their throwback. I was so sure she was gonna say Streets of Rage. I could taste it. Knew it was coming.
Cool. Since we're trying out new segments, there's been a fun thing going across the internet. And as much as I want to make sure that we don't get banned as far as like content, I think we can play this one and be all right. So our nerd segment, or our nerd moment of the week, we won't tell you what it is. We'll just play it for you, so you're either gonna get the reference or not. And that's how we will leave you on that to end the show. So thank you all for another fantastic week at State Nerd Union. I've been Commander Ship. Oh,
see you later.
That's been Steve Grandmaster Foot. I was about to say Flex. Box. Yeah, never cross it. Conda forever.
There
Cool.
you go.
All right. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Sucker, 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 system. Sucker, 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 system. System. System, 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 system. The system is down. 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 Down, 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 down. Dun, 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 dun. The system is taking over.